Peace, my family, and we're all back to all. And those coming out at a good cocoon for the first time, welcome. This is your girl, the butterfly, and we about to take off. Let's fly. Just want to send you all that good healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right in that good mind. How y'all feeling today? That's a good question to ask yourself each and every day. So you can stop lying to yourself and really figure out how you feel, so you can begin to resolve the things inside of you that's been surfacing up that is needed to make peace with, so you can move on and move up in your chakras. So it's all about moving lighter. It's all about making your heart lighter, not heavier. So I just thought that I come on here today to do another clip it on Dr. Malachi's book called Holy Tabernacle Guide for Better Living, Purity and Neatness, and the Maintenance of Health. And this right here will certainly help you on this good journey within. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, now, the question is, what should a woman know in order to be a responsible mother and wife? Okay, so this right here will certainly help you on this good journey within. So let's take it all in. Right. All right. So, okay. And this is Dr. Malachi's answer. I'm so silly sometimes. You can't take life so serious, right? Okay, so, but this is, serious. So, anywho, you should know that when she prepares food for her family, it is prepared with love, so that the food becomes a meal and not just food. Food that is prepared with love nourishes the body. She should teach her daughter such things as how to make bread from scratch, how to weave cloth to make fabric for sewing clothes, etc. She should know that there is a special feeling of contentment and inner satisfaction in sewing and pressing her husband's clothes and having him look immaculate in the eyes of his peers. Wherever he goes, people will know that she takes good care of him, from washing and pressing his clothes to shining his shoes, just by looking at him. So let's go on. A woman is to be more than a cook or a sewer or a cleaner. She is a doctor, a nutritionist, a psychiatrist, a bookkeeper, an accountant, an analyst, and a healer. She must be an evaluator of nutrition. As you grow, your body is aging. So, nutritionally speaking, the foods that you eat should be foods that will preserve the body while it's aging. And since the wife is the one that prepares the meals, she should know what types of foods are good for the system and what type of foods mix well in the stomach, etc. She should be feeding her husband foods that promote longevity, so that he will not become impotent. A woman should be sensitive enough to know when something is wrong with her husband and her children, and must be able to reach and console and comfort them. If a woman cannot reach her husband mentally and console him when he is down, he then will seek consultation and comfort elsewhere, and it is usually with alcohol or another woman. He will sit in a bar and drown his sorrows in alcohol. And the word bar, spell it backwards, you get the word rab, which is the Asoretic Arabic word for sustainer. This is one of the ways the evil one has tampered with the words by placing hidden meanings in them. Next question. So, what is this society geared towards? Question. And this is Dr. Malachi's answer. The evil one has his society set up where everything is geared towards self-destruction. And the man, with all of his responsibilities, is the prime target. He is the breadwinner and the provider. As a child of the Elohim in the Western world, life is made to be hard and to work against you. This society makes a man work on Friday with the implication that if you don't work on Friday, you won't be able, or you will not be able to work at all. Every true child of the Elohim knows that Friday is the day of gathering, and everything in the society is structured to work against Nuavu. So it is the responsibility of the man to provide. The Most High created some of you men a niche above the others. Meaning that men should provide for the women. Refer to the Holy Tabernacle Family Guide. Page 100 is what it says. So it goes on. And it's L's Holy Quran 92:34. And it says, men are to be the maintainers, the providers of the Enosite women by what the source has preferred. Some of women, and by what they share willingly from their own wealth. Men ate to take care of their women's needs, so the women who are working to perfect themselves are the ones who guard themselves by not being seen by everyone, not going out into the world as Allah has ordered them to guard themselves. And as for those who you fear, will leave the house and give them strong doctrine warnings, and don't go to bed with them, have sex, and don't go to bed with them or have sex. And if you have reason to hit them, but if they obey you, don't seek or desire a path against them, don't seek to do them harm. Surely the source, Allah, is El, and the oldest. So it says in the Quran 4:34, and it says, men are the protectors and the maintainers of women, because God has given the one more strength than the other, and because they support them from their means, and therefore the righteous women are devoutly obedient and guard in their husband's absence what God would have them guard. So let's go on. What is the responsibilities of a man? Question. And this is Dr. Malachi's answer. The man's responsibility is to choose a healthy and intelligent wife, whom he can live and cherish for the length of their lives and further. Remember, beauty is truly only skin deep. If you are with a woman only because she is pretty, that is the wrong reason. That beauty will eventually fade away. His responsibility is to provide an above poverty-stricken environment by working hard to see that his family has nothing but the best, and earn a living honestly and honorably. He is to know how to repair and fix things around the house. His responsibility is to know how to drive everything on wheels. He is to protect and guard his family at all times. He is to know survival tactics, what to do in case of an emergency. His times, he is to know survival tactics and what to do in case of emergency. His responsibility is setting an example and being a role model for his children. He is to be loyal to his wife and discipline himself. In order to keep a respectable relationship, he is to maintain honesty and integrity. His responsibility is to not endanger his family by violating the laws of the country, state, or city in which they live. He is to control his emotions and to be strong under pressure, but always keep his promises. He is to be a father for his sons and his daughters, and he is to be a husband for his wife. He is to set an overall good example for his family, as well as to be an upright and noble member in the family of the Holy Tabernacle. He is to be a hard worker, following the laws of Nuabu at all times. When a man is working for oneself or for someone else, when a man is working for someone else, he is not really providing, especially if he's working for someone who is not even his culture. They do not even care that you are a child of the Elohim. In reality, for a child of the Elohim to work for a Jew or a Christian is against Nuabu, because it dictates that you are inferior, or a child of the Elohim is supposed to do for self. A child of Elohim is supposed to do for self, as stated by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the only way that a child of the Elohim can do for self is to live as part of the tabernacle. So within the tabernacle, there should be employment, and there should be shoemakers, dressmakers, etc. There should be accountants, lawyers, doctors, and the police department all set up within the tabernacle. Otherwise, living the way of Nuabu can be impossible. If the man has to go out and work for someone else, then bring that money back into the tabernacle. He should do so with aspirations towards working to become independent on his own. The man cannot achieve his goal but living amongst others within the tabernacle who works as hard and diligent as he does. It can be done, and Holy Tabernacle Ministries is the living proof. So, that right there is the end of his answer. Yeah, y'all know that the land is not here, right? But at the same time, as you're reading this and looking at this, you take what you can that resonates with you in your life, that you can make changes as far as positioning yourself when you are starting a family to be a provider for your family, and then, maneuver and as such with creating a household that is pleasing to the eyes of the Most High. And with these particular points, and right now it said it's in it, you can incorporate that in your life, regardless, because it's like, your paradise or your home is right now in this reality, like at this present day, you can still live, your life based on the Holy Tabernacle guide and laws in your home. So that right there is very important, and it's all about working on yourself and getting yourself in a place where you can provide and do what you need to do. So it's all a work in progress. Everything takes time. Be patient with yourself. But again, it's all about being self-sufficient. And it's the reason why. Because it's always good to work for yourself and get in a position where you can. But if you can't, and we know that society is set up, again, in a certain way, then making sure that you just provide for your family and do what you got to do to provide for your family. And that's it. But the overall goal should be moving to a place where you can get to a place where you're self-sufficient. So, Okay, so I'm going to read this question, and it says, what happened to all the other organizations that existed before the Holy Tabernacle? Question. And this is Dr. Malachi's answer. The Sunni Muslims that have existed in the world prior to the Holy Tabernacle ministries don't even have the ability to come together and be cohesive and organized as well as we do. Why? Because why did the Holy Tabernacle God come along in 1970 AD as Ansar Allah, and they, the Sunni Muslims, were here since 1914 AD, and we are able to establish tabernacle living? Question. The answer is simple. Because of the principles of living for, of, and by each other. The men in the tabernacle are consistently taught that they have a responsibility to provide for the women and the children. The concept of I am a black man and I'll make the money on my own, not applied with a tabernacle. You can't eat a meal today and snack tomorrow because you have too much pride. Pride that is based on tissue paper means nothing. By that I mean pride is a pride that is made on different black leaders telling you what you are and where or were hindering you from becoming something, as opposed to telling you what you are not and giving you the ability to stand up and become something of worth. The Nubian man and woman in America doesn't have anything to be proud of until they are buying for each other and selling to you, Nubians. The Italians buy from each other and sell to you, Nubians. The Chinese buy from each other and sell to you, Nubians. And it goes on. The Jews buy from each other, Italians, Jews, and Chinese. And the question becomes, and who does the Nubian sell to? And the answer is, no one. And this is speaking in general. Because now people are working for themselves and doing their thing. And that's a beautiful thing. And if you are doing that, congratulations. Alright, moving on the move, right? So, let's go on. Does just having a child make a man a responsible father? Question. And this is Dr. Malachi's answer. A man has a responsibility to create an environment that makes his son look up to him in respect. Men think just because they can father a child that makes them a man, while it doesn't. Being a man means supporting your family on a consistent day-to-day basis, legitimately not holding up a gas station today and a liquor store tomorrow. A man must realize or recognize that the Western society in which he lives offers but so much to his children, and that he had better be able to produce what society can in some way, shape, or fashion within the boundaries of New York. If society offers things that will enhance your child's chances to grow and become something within society, and you deprive your child, then you produce a retarded child. So it goes on. If a man and woman are having problems in their relationship, should they stay together for their children? Question. And this is Dr. Malachi's answer. Firstly, you are all make mistakes. And you could have made mistakes in the spouse that you chose. Blind love is for those who are blind and do not wish to see the faults of their partner. I don't suggest an abrupt divorce unless there is the threat of danger, a lack of provision for the family, or disloyalty. So if you choose a spouse, it is best to investigate his or her family, their health background, their mental stability, and their genetic involvements. Be extremely careful in these days and times For great deadly diseases plague the human body. Don't be a victim of your lust to your death. For the children's sake, if any, don't stay in a bad relationship. It can affect their lives. If a man is not a provider, which is the most important aspect of a man, move on with your life before it's too late. If a woman does not do her part as a female, move on. Remember, women and men whom you meet at parties are just that, party people. You don't go in a nightclub to find a wife/husband. You'll find a nightclub girl and guy, period. Being a newbie in America, you are forced to provide the things that this society has to offer. And if you are going to put your child in the mainstream of America, by that I mean if there is a Christmas celebration every year in which children receive a lot of gifts and your children sees this, whether they are in the religion or not, they will want to participate. This is why I have incorporated our own celebrations and holidays into our culture and a way of life so that our children won't feel deprived. Refer to 1996 calendar, and it says, our worldwide killers and drug and addicts and murderers, etc., are usually adults that were deprived one way or another during their youth. If you are going to have a peaceful environment in America, then you must adjust your environment to suit America. Otherwise, if you're going to use Afghanistan principles, then you should be living in Afghanistan. And if you're going to be using Saudi Arabia as your principles, then you should be living in Saudi Arabia. So, let's go on. What is our language? Question. And this is Dr. Malachi Zierk's answer. A true child of Elohim should have their own language and should know how to speak their language. This is why I have instituted our own language, which is Nuwapic. Nuwapic is a combination of the Nubian dialect of the ancient cuneiform, Chaldean, Akkadian, and Asturic and Aramic languages. And no matter what country they are in, it is the responsibility of both the mother and the father to know the language of the scriptures. We are now renewing ourselves with our own culture and our own commitments, our own name, Nuwapians, our own land, Mother Earth, our own scriptures, which is the holy tablets, and naturally our own language, Nuwapic. Having to speak English, someone else's language, is crippling to the children and also to Nuwapu. Speaking English to your children manufactures negrate and is one who rejects his religion. So cause and allegiance or group from another group. For all of the Sunni and Muslims in America who belong to different groups and sects and who do not speak our original language or original language are subject to man's interpretations and translations and thus man's opinions, and they can be persuaded into wars, rivalries, and sanctism. Quran 3:105. So, if all of the Muslims that you meet on a day-to-day basis were fluent in Syriac, Arabic, they will be able to throw away all of the English translations and interpretations and confront the Quran for what it says in the Syriac, Arabic language, because they are looking through the eyes of other men. The men become the women in the respect that they have to rely on someone else. So therefore, it is the man's responsibility to come together with other men and form a tabernacle where everyone can live together, is your Garden of Eden, where you shape the environment and you grow and you nurture every plant, tree, fruit, and every seed in the garden. This is done for the sake of the children, so they will see what they are to become. And for example, you cannot be a true Muslim in America living in New Jersey, visiting a mosque in New York City on 72nd Street, where a multitude of men with different economic backgrounds and status and different educational levels piled into one room for a 2-hour lecture on Friday, after which they dispute back into the world. Some are vendors, some go to offices, some hold political positions, and still some are visitors. It is the women and the children that suffer. So the sole purpose together with pure souls and not instilling the I-ness inside their ministry should be taught that working together is the best way to get a job done better and not alone. So that is the end of his answer. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Now, if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer. And know again that you are loved beyond this world. I hope you know that. Again, begin to spread the love one to another and be the peace that you seek. Release our master teacher, Dr. Malachi L. Peace, Salam, Hashug, divine love, and